From operatic headliners in a very scenic setting to performances amid the cedar trees via some open-air artwork, we're bringing you the highlights of some of the season's happenings here in France and beyond. Warm summer evenings mean that music, dance, theatre and arts go outdoors here in Europe, with a host of festivals using towns and cities as their open-air stage. And where better to listen to the world's greatest opera singers than in the Roman amphitheatre of Orange in the south of France. The Chorégies d'Orange have been staged for 150 years now, and this year highlights include a production of Mozart's Don Giovanni, Rossini's William Tell, and a star turn from baritone Placido Domingo. France 24's Clovis Casali went to check it out.
For the past 150 years, opera lovers have been coming to this outstanding venue in Orange, in the south of France. Les Chorégies is believed to be the oldest music festival in France, and it takes place here in this Roman theatre that's 2,000 years old. Let's go and talk to the man in charge. Jean-Louis GRINDA, you happen to also be the director of Rossini's opera William Tell. How does this incredible stage change your approach to this masterpiece?
It helped broaden my approach to this piece of art because, as you said, this is a sublime setting. The stage is 60 meters long, 25 meters wide, meaning you can easily move around the choir and the opera ballet. With so much space, nothing is forbidden.
One of the highlights of the Chorégies d'Orange is without a doubt Spanish Night with the living legend Placido Domingo, one of the three tenors alongside Luciano Pavarotti. How did you convince him to come here? Is it all down to money?
Not at all, because Placido Domingo is not someone like that. For one, he's been a friend of mine for many years, and he's also a friend of the Orange Chorégies Festival. So when I asked him to participate, he said yes straight away.
Spanish Night is rather different because it's a mix of ballet and opera. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
It brings together zarzuela and ballet, and zarzuela is close to the heart of Placido Domingo because his parents were zarzuela artists, which is Spanish operetta, a very vocal, very operatic genre in terms of the singing, and he likes it a lot. He's been immersed in that environment since a young age, so it's a repertoire that he tries to defend as much as possible around the world.
Alejandro Molina and Alejandra de Castro, you are both dancers in Spanish Night. Can you tell me more about the performance and what the audience can expect?
I think the public are gonna see a formal expression of flamenco. Everybody knows flamenco, but this is a flamenco mixed with classical dance and with the orchestra. It's a beautiful concept that the public are gonna enjoy.
So you're performing on stage with a living legend, Placido Domingo. Tell me more about him. What is it like to be working with him? Is it daunting?
Well, I think it's not scary. For us, it's the third time I think we dance with Placido. Of course, it's an honor, and we respect the figure of Placido Domingo. It's nice. He's very a comfortable person with a, yeah, very nice.
So human being.
Ah ben nous on écoute plus des musiques du moment, donc plutôt rap, rap US, tout ça.
Des variétés quoi, ouais. Un petit peu tout.
Oui, j'adore l'opéra.
C'est une autre musique à découvrir.
Moi j'essaie d'y aller au moins à un opéra chaque année, mais c'est encore un peu élitiste.
J'aime bien l'opéra et je suis très attachée à tout ce qui se passe sur Orange et notamment au théâtre antique.
Le classique, j'aime beaucoup. De toute façon, la musique, c'est un langage, hein, c'est un partage.
Classical music doesn't always win over young crowds, so organisers decided to invite 600 pupils from local schools to perform on the stage of the Old Roman Theatre. I leave you with some pictures from their show called Pop the Opera. See you soon.
We're taking a trip to Nantes now, in the west of France. The port city on the Loire River is typically the starting point for transatlantic journeys, but this time it's the destination. Le Voyage à Nantes has transformed the city into an open-air gallery this summer, with contemporary art installations in public squares, on the docks and behind closed doors. From the urban nest sculptures of Tadashi Kawamata to gastronomical and musical performances, French artist Claire Tabouret is also showing her evocative painting, but on sheets of fabric this time. She explains how the sound design was an integral part of this exhibition.
The soundscape was composed by Asuka Matsuyama and Alex Sommers, who are friends of mine. They were inspired by the poems of Adonis to create a work that is somewhat cinematic, especially as they have both worked on sound for cinema. They took on this challenge with a desire to bounce off a narrative already created through the visuals and create a sound that would fill the space thanks to the 26 speakers hidden in the ceiling of the room. I hope it creates an immersive experience for the spectator.
Next to the Lebanese mountains for a festival that takes place in the shade of the country's much-loved cedar trees. This year's International Cedars Festival kicked off in the hilltop town of Bashare with a performance from classical singer Andrea Bocelli. Haxi Myers-Belkin takes a look.
In the heart of Lebanon's Kadisha Valley, the village of Bashare lies at an altitude of 1,400 meters. As night falls, the Cedars Festival dominates the hillside, with an inaugural performance by Italian classical singer Andrea Bocelli.
Artist Celine Dion once said, "If God had a singing voice, he would sound a lot like you, Andrea."
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. It's after these words, I have no word, of course. But today, I had incredible experiences, and I will bring in my heart the memory of today forever. Thank you very much. Like stars across the sky.
Joined by Lebanese singer Hiba Tawaji, Andrea Bocelli performs one of his best-known songs. Their voices rising through the valley. The Cedars Festival was born in Bashare in 1963, but was brought to an abrupt halt at the start of the country's civil war in the 1970s. It was only in 2015 that the region decided to bring the event back to life, although these days it takes place just outside the Cedars of God Forest, now classified a UNESCO World Heritage Site. After Bocelli's performance, the festival will host an epic evening of comedy on the 13th of July, with appearances from Lebanon's best-loved comedians.
Well, we're wrapping up the show with some more music here in Paris this time as the Afro-Punk Festival kicks off at the weekend at La Scène Musicale. It's the 4th edition for the event, which blends beats, activism and the very best of black and Afro-inspired music. Solange, Lizzo, Janelle Monáe are some of the big names gracing that stage. We'll leave you with a preview. Well, do check out our website and you can catch us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram too. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.